So ultimately, I know that this can be quite difficult to understand, but I think that you know is good enough to express, because what I want to do, right? This information is not just for me. This information is information that's like forward created for whatever reason, because I don't have the ability to respond to people, nor do I have the ability to. So I put this out there because there's only a few people that actually need this information. A lot of people don't actually care, but there's those few people that just cause problems for no apparent reason. But I think that a man, right, has two relationships. He has a relationship with his girlfriend or wife, right? Then he has a relationship with his boys, right? So for me personally, let's say for example, I am in a relationship with my girl. Of course, we have whatever it is that we do, things that are relevant and important to us. And then on the other side, there's a relationship with my boys. So whatever that means is that I'm either gonna be, we're gonna be chatting either some nonsense, or we're gonna be going to the club or to the bar, club, bars, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter, right? The point is that we go somewhere in order to drink, dance around, and just be particularly social. And in that environment, we might meet or see girls. Depending on what your friends are like, you might behave in a particular way, but your intention is very limited in relating to what you intend to get out of it. So it's important to understand that a man has a relationship with his girl, and with also his friends. And with his friends, however way that might seem, sometimes it's about the thing that the man does and the necessities for him to have a level of respect, I suppose, if you want to call it that. So yeah, and I think that yeah, so that's it. I think that you should just have that in mind every time you make a decision, every time you think about, you gotta also care in the relationship with your boys, and you gotta also determine the limits of that relationship if you need to impose any limits upon it. These are things that we have to take into consideration as human beings. And these are things that I've learned also the hard way, that sometimes, you can lose one over the other. The other can actually inhibit and prevent the other, which is quite horrible in most instances. Which is quite horrible in most instances. So that's the truth of that. Yeah, and it's just pretty much that. Take that into consideration. Because I've experienced different variations of that. And I think that if I had an awareness, or if I thought about it that way, then I might have catered to those relationships a bit more differently. So for me, like, I think that the majority, it was just sort of like give and take in most scenarios, but I think that it's definitely a vital way of thinking about it. I've had plenty of friends, but like I think that my friends are very limited in relation to what it is that I do, or what it is that I expose to them. And that's pretty much it, really. But I definitely felt that there was definitely that nature, and we've all been in different environments, different ways of operating, which meant that the wants and needs that I had were very different. Similar to how when your parent is looking is similar to how when your girl is looking, and etc. When your friends are looking is different to how when you're by yourself, or when your girl's actually observing you. So these are or like when your girl's actually looking at you at a specific point. So yeah, so an individual has two relationships, and I think that this is information that I needed for myself. But I think that it's okay, because again, at the same time, it's kind of infinite. It's the cool thing about it. So yeah, and it's in my possession, and I know that, like, yeah, man. I think that's pretty much it. Like, it's friends of different types, I suppose. But take that into consideration always.